What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Bottom Sprocket. And today we have kind of a different video for you, a different topic. Usually we like to keep it motorcycle specific, but there have been a raft of high-profile YouTubers who have been talking about quitting. The biggest one that comes to mind off the top of my head is MatPat. And a lot of times you hear about YouTubers getting out of the game. And this is something that I think rings true for myself and Whitney, that YouTube is a lot of work, And Josh was tangentially involved in a lot of it back in the day. And you're now getting started with it again at a new position that you're working on. So it should be an interesting topic. It's going to be a lot more meta today. And we're going to be talking a lot more about our experiences, but it should be kind of interesting, especially if you're, like me, interested in the business of YouTube, not just watching videos. So let's dive on. Whew. Okay. So there's a lot to talk about here, a ton of stuff, but let's start with the first thing that sort of spurred this on, and that is MatPat leaving. Are you guys familiar with MatPat at all?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
No.
so he runs this channel, or used to run this channel, called The Game Theorists. And The Game Theorists is a massive show that basically talks about wild theories inside of video games. So one of them was oh shoot, I can't remember one off the top of my head, but it's besides the point. He's been on YouTube forever, years and years and years, and The Game Theorist is up to like 15 million subscribers, something crazy like that. And when you've been doing it for as long as he has, and your audience is as big as he has, and the business of his channel is as big as it was, you start to understand why somebody's like, oh man, the stress is just, it's hard. And I've definitely felt it. But the real thing that spurred this on for me was there was a reaction to this that went up. So we're literally reaction to a reaction of a video. Rick Beato, who's a very famous music YouTuber, more so than guitar, talks a lot about music theory. And he made a video talking about how a lot of YouTubers make these "I'm leaving" videos. And he was like, this is a subject on YouTube that I really am fascinated by. And I kind of get how you would be sort of fascinated by this idea, because they all follow the same sort of guide, shall we say. You remember back in the day when there were a ton of apology videos on YouTube? Like everybody was apologizing for something on YouTube. They had all that, they were getting yelled at by their audience, and they did these apology videos, and it's "I'm sorry." They're all kind of teary-eyed, and they're doing it to soft, jangly guitar music. Well, the idea of these quitting videos to him is they follow the same sort of guide. And he was talking, the biggest thing he mentioned again was the stress. And he was like, oh, I don't have to do that. YouTube doesn't have to be super stressful. You just, when the video's done, that's when I upload the video. And the biggest thing for me about that whole video that made it feel tone deaf was, yeah, well, you have 4 million subscribers and you're pulling 500,000 views a day. You have that opportunity to just not release a video. But we came up over on Yammy Noob where we were releasing a video every single day. And nowadays I'm releasing twice a week. And before you tapped out for maternity leave, how often were you uploading, Whitney?
Weekly, for
You were
sure.
weekly.
Yeah, which at my subscriber count is too much work for the effort.
Exactly. And it's really stressful when you don't have the bandwidth, the volume of views to just be like, yeah, we don't need to upload a video today. Or, yeah, we don't need to live stream today. We can just, be chilly and we'll come back fresh on Monday. How's that sound? But I guess this is where I pass it off to you guys and be like, does it surprise you that anybody would want to bail on YouTube?
It's what TV broadcasting channels, right? It used to be a whole studio. The cameramen, the editors, the people in the back, the script writer. It used to be a whole team, and now, sure, you can make quite the living doing this, but now you're everybody. And some of those bigger channels have teams, but most of us don't, or they've got an editor here, an editor there. I had an editor for a little while and it was helpful, but it's so much work. And then think about coming up with video topics for the rest of your life. Like that makes me want to jump off the nearest cliff, because it's like, do I care about that much shit?
Mm-hmm.
And then how much of it is just this never-ending fractal of meaningless algorithm dick sucking.
Yeah. And I think you also, especially when you hit a certain level of growth, you reach a point where, because like, especially at an earlier stage, you're doing it as a personal commitment. You're trying to grow this for yourself, build your independence, build that lifestyle that a lot of people want from YouTube. But at a certain level, and we definitely experienced it at Yami Noob, and I'm sure many of these other channels have experienced it, and things like TV broadcasts also experience it. You become obligated to do it, whether it's contractually obligated because of sponsorship deals and promises you've made and partnerships that you've taken on to help grow others' businesses, or it's like you have a network deal and you have to make this content. I mean, there's no denying that there's great things that come with the freedom of running a business like that. There's awesome opportunities, a lot of fun, and I think running any business is going to be a whole lot of work and a lot of stress. But yeah, I don't know where that line is, and I don't know who's doing it best, right? Who's got it figured out to where it's like, this is definitely the way, this is the level where you can kind of let off the gas a little bit and just enjoy interacting with your audience and making fun content.
Yeah, I think that one thing that, all right, so we're going to check one of the boxes here for talking about YouTube, because if you ever make a video on YouTube talking about making videos for YouTube, one of the things that you have to check in the box is we're not saying this job sucks, because it's an awesome job. I'm running my own business. For a couple of years, we were doing awesome stuff, just goofing around with motorcycles. But the reality is that's a sliver of what we're doing. The stuff that people see on YouTube, the videos that y'all see, that's an afternoon of filming, whereas a lot of the work that goes into it, you just don't see. To give you an idea, I've been sitting here all day long editing this one video that is currently 11 minutes and 27 seconds. And I've been working on this video for 18 working hours at this point, probably. And a lot of folks see the video and they're like, oh, this is an 11-minute video. And you're like, yeah, it's an 11-minute video, but it didn't take 11 minutes to make. It didn't take 11 minutes to make. I've been in and out of the garage trying to capture shots. I've been doing voiceover and writing the scripts for that. I've been sitting here and editing the transitions and all that stuff. And it sort of just stacks up. And then I realize, oh shit, I have to jump in and film these podcasts with Josh and Whitney. They sent me some DMs on, or some notifications on our Discord.
Yeah, we were
server
worried
that's
about
just
you. We're
us.
like, He's never missed a pod. Is he dead?
Yeah, I was sitting in the editing dungeon trying to finish this video up because I'm so close to getting it done. And as soon as we're done here, I need to hop back into that so that I can get it up on the Patreon and up to the Discord folks. And it does become kind of stressful because you're constant. There's always the next deadline. You know what I mean? And we actually each three have very different looks into this sort of space. So what I do now is I do all of it, right? I do all of the business development. I do all of the filming. I do all of the scripting. I do all of the YouTube stuff. All of the finance. Like, oh man, after I get done uploading this video, I got to sit and start working on my taxes.
Yeah, baby.
So all of that stuff is on my plate right now, but I got my start just as a production manager, essentially. Every single video, with, relative exceptions, went through me at almost every stage. We would sit and write the scripts and then come in and film, and then I'd watch the edit, and then I'd send some stuff back, and then I'd upload it and all that stuff. So that's kind of my background, is like the production manager part of it, as well as being on screen. But Whitney, you were camera dude, Whitney, for a while, and you were then, video on screen human. You were also big editor. And then Josh, you were business development. So I'd kind of like to kick it over to you guys and hear your thoughts from that kind of angle, because we each have that different view towards the business side of YouTube that people might not see.
Yeah, I think you wear a lot of hats when you work for YouTube channels. And I've worked for multiple YouTube channels, and at Yammy Noob, it was the biggest one. It's like, oh, you can do this, you're gonna do this too, and you're gonna do this, and you're gonna do that, and you're gonna do this. And then it was like we were always on call because we released so many videos. So if there was a fuck up, you had to, Jake, I'm sure a million times in the middle of the night, get up and change something. Or I remember editing videos in the jungle on a generator, like, because there was no stopping.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while we were all chasing that 1 million subscriber thing, and that was pushing a lot of us. But it's funny, you start hitting those goals and then you plateau. It's like, where are you getting the fuel in your tank anymore? Like, what's satisfying you? What's an accomplished goal when there's always an upload, or when there's always something that needs to be done, and then you just get burnt out.
Yeah, I think you hit on that point really well, that like audiences, people that are viewers, get caught up in the activities and the persona of the channel and think that it's just a window into their life, and these are the awesome fun things that they love to do, and I'm just watching some of their day, and these are all the things they would do normally, but now it's on video. And there's definitely content like that, but you forget that so many of these channels are just trying to be successful YouTube channels. That what matters at the end of the day is the numbers at the bottom of the screen and how much money you're getting from YouTube. And it's like, yeah, I'll make content about, whatever it is, for some channels, they'll make anything if it's going to be successful in the algorithm. And that definitely throws a wrench into the fun aspect of what a lot of audience members just don't quite comprehend. That it's not just doing the stuff in the videos. Doing something in a video that's entertaining is a vehicle to be able to earn the paycheck from YouTube. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, you're just wanting to make the money. And my experience has been a lot more of making YouTube valuable to other businesses. So through sponsorships, through partnerships who want to grow. because there's a huge value to a business of having the attention, but not only the attention, the parasocial relationship and the trust that comes with working with a creator and their audience. So I sold a lot of sponsorship deals. I would, manage all of the relationships with a lot of businesses and manufacturers and other organizations that we would work for. And sometimes that's like straight account management and just keeping these people happy, letting them know that their project is on time and on track and going great, and finding ways to make the numbers look as good as possible, or giving them ideas and recommendations on how they can track it and feel good about it and get the most out of it. But a lot of the time it was just, thinking about where else can money come from? where else can we get some more money? What's the new idea, and how do we sell more stuff to these people, or what? And a lot of the times, and you guys experienced this as I started to be more successful when we were all working together, the things that I would came up with started to really influence the content that you guys would be executing on, to where, if there was enough money on the hook, you'd make what was on the bullet point list of what we had to make.
So what you're talking about is the dedicated video. That's what sponsors want, right? Sponsors want you to make a video about their product. So let's see, here we go. Razer makes this is, I think, the Wolverine 2 or whatever. This is their fancy Xbox controller, and Razer would approach me or Channel A, and they would be like, all right, we want a dedicated video about this thing, and that's worth X amount of dollars. And then they're like, you have to make an entire video about this. And then I look and I'm like, how the fuck do I make an entire video about this?
And they don't get
not upset the
that. They don't
audience.
get that. Nobody wants to watch that. It's like I've had manufacturers approach me who say, we need a dedicated video about this bag. I'm like, a bag? I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or I just got one. We've got this tire inflator and we need a dedicated video. I'm like, no, it's like never gonna happen because nobody's gonna watch that.
Yeah, it's really hard to sort of thread that needle. And I know a lot of people are sitting there being like, oh, well, they're going to pay you, so just do it. And it's like, sure, but if you make a video that's just clearly selling out, people aren't going to watch anything else that you do.
Yeah, then you're going to spend 17 hours editing a 10-minute video.
Yeah.
So how much is that worth?
You know, recent example, I did the... do I have it right here? Yes. It's 360 Ace Pro. I did a video on this one, and it got 3,000 views.
Woo!
3,000.
You're like, thanks for taking my views, Insta.
And it's not their fault. It's not their fault. They and this is actually a video that I wanted to make because the Insta360 Ace Pro is actually kind of cool. And I have a deep affinity for all kinds of action cameras because these are the things that I use all the time. I'm literally talking to one right now. So I like checking these out and I like showing off how cool they are because this one's actually a really great vlogging camera. And that was kind of the point of my video. But at the end of the day, this is a motorcycle channel and people aren't really looking for the 15 to 20 minute product review of something that's not motorcycle related. And this is tangentially motorcycle related and it's a great product. And I stood by the video that I made, but people just didn't want to see it. And the people who did watch it, they liked it. And it was a valuable piece of content for them. But
people rather see a Fireblade do 190 down to Dallas Highway.
Yeah. And that's kind of what a lot of people want to do. They just want to see you going balls to the wall or goofing around or, reviewing movie scenes from motorcycle movie scenes.
Or smart helmets.
Or smart helmets, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of the companies, because this is relatively new in the world of business and as a form of marketing. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is that they think that running a YouTube ad with a creator, not like a pre-roll ad, like paying the creator to include the ad in the video, is like paid media, paid advertising, where I can go on Facebook and I can set a budget, and if I've got the money to it, that's going to be shoved down the throat of however many people I choose to pay for. And it's treated that way by so many promoters, by so many people who want to run ads for this stuff. But the magic of it is earned media. When people can create situations. Red Bull is my primary example for what earned marketing is, right? You do stuff that's so cool that people can't look away from, that they want to see so badly and is so awesome and worthy of their attention, that they happen to also see the brand there, you know?
Like the
And
video where Red Bull got the hypercar, the boat, the jet. They got Danny Pedrosa on the MotoGP bike. They got all of them lined up and had them, go all out and see which one's fastest. And of course, Danny Pedrosa fucking smoked everybody
yeah,
because he's like 4 foot tall and weighs 60 pounds on the back of a 300 horsepower motorcycle. So of course he absolutely walloped everybody. But you realize that that's a giant ad for Red Bull, but because everything is just Red Bull branded to heck and back, but it's just riveting. It's a riveting piece of content.
Could you ever imagine a video where someone says, "Hey, I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Red Bull, for this video. Their new flavor is the best thing I have ever tasted. It tastes just like X, Y, and Z. Run out to your local this or that, or go down, hit the link in the video, and order a 12-pack of these awesome new Red Bulls." Like,
Never in a million years.
no, they're never gonna do it.
Not unless you're butt naked popping a wheelie on an H2 or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless it was a joke.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's I think it's going that way. It will get that way. But also, like, being at that table where and I've been on both sides of the table, where I'm the business making the ask of the creator, and I've been on the side working for the creator, negotiating with the business, to be able to come out of those meetings and meet minds so that you understand what this project is really going to look like. A lot of the time the business has no idea. A lot of the time the business doesn't even watch the creators' videos. They don't care. They're not an audience member. They don't know what your videos are like. All they want is how many of your products are sold. And so it is such a task to come up with ideas that create content that is so worthy of being watched, but still can somehow center your product or your service or something like that. That is so much harder to do and takes so much more work than to just say, hey, between 60 to 90 seconds, and make sure at least 3 of these 5 talking points are mentioned. Which is such an easier thing to do, and probably the way that so many more businesses go. But yeah, I don't know. That's my 2 cents from being at that negotiating table a lot and seeing projects that have been extraordinarily successful, and also ones that are super not successful.
But I think then a lot of people would say, okay, well then just don't do the sponsorship thing. And that's when you get back to YouTube just does not reward you enough for the work that you put into it. They
Didn't
just
it used to? Like, wasn't it kind of like a grab bag, a free for all before the adpocalypse?
Yeah, you had channels that were making a lot more money for sure. It was definitely in its heyday, it was a lot better. But nowadays it's just holy cow.
Yeah, like I got docked for having background music on an unlisted live stream, and I was forever removed from the homepage. And I'm sure the person, Matt Pat, that you're talking about, the stress that comes with 15 million subscribers, I'm assuming a whole team, there's still like these teeny little eggshells you got to walk on.
Right.
And if you step on it, you're fucked. And then what? Yeah, we all want to have fun, but Spite, you and I talk about how like every time we get on a motorcycle, there's usually a camera involved, which is
Yep.
sad. It shouldn't always be that way.
Yeah.
But then you kind of just get stuck in that, and that's how you end up a successful Spite's Corner channels, because you are always bringing a camera with you and you are living that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. To give people kind of just a general idea, so there's 52 weeks in a year, because this is in my brain just because I'm dealing with taxes right now. Let's see, hold on. So to get from a total number of cash you made, it's divided by 52 to get per week, right? And then you divide it by 40 for hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly.
So total, assuming that I worked 40 hours a week, the average amount of cash that I earned from YouTube was in 40 hours I would earn $14.
$14 an hour.
No, that would be like $1 an hour.
Oh, you're saying $14 a week.
Yeah, $14 a week.
Yeah. That's not it.
Yeah,
That's not it.
it's rough. Assuming I did that math right. I think it was close to like $500 a week, so maybe $14 a day. That's it, $14 a day. So
Yeah. And then
that's rough.
And then once you do a few of those sponsorship deals and you realize that it's an $800 check, a $500 check,
$6,000 check. Yeah.
$6,000 check, a big check, right? For, what is really only a couple hours of editing and maybe an hour of recording with the product, then you start to understand why creators need to do that so much.
They have to. Yeah.
Yeah. And YouTube's making a lot of money on that. I mean, you just do some quick math on it. As an advertiser, like, you may pay 2 cents for play of your ad or something like that. Maybe more, if you're in a really high CPM category, you may pay 20 cents for every time your ad is played or something like that. And if that video got 50,000 views and they were paid 20 cents on every single time that ad got played, is that like $10,000 or something like that YouTube has now collected on the ads that they're showing before your video plays, and maybe the ad that they play in the middle of your video if it's long enough. The creator doesn't come close to that, not anywhere close to it, and there's little you can do to affect that.
So the math on it is basically the creator makes about, at least the claim from YouTube is the creator makes about 55% of revenue based on what their video generates. In my experience, it's closer to 30%. So the amount of money that YouTube gives us is a fraction of the money that we actually earned, which is tough because what it means is you're really relying on individual hits. You're relying on a video to really pop off, to make sure that you're going to make rent for a month, which is why a lot of people bring in Patreon. And I've had a Patreon for 18 months to almost a year and a half, something like that. And the folks on Patreon literally make it so that I can do this job. Without the people on Patreon, I could not do this. The channel would be dead in the water because of the amount of work that it takes. I would have 2 full-time jobs. And sometimes this is basically 2 full-time jobs. I very rarely do I work a 40-hour work week. It's usually like closer to 60,
Yeah. And a lot of people to get their start do that. They have to. Like, you want to, if you don't have a launching board to get you some good traction at the beginning, then that's exactly what you're going to do. You're grinding it out while you're working a full-time job to pay your rent.
And this is why, like Whitney, where you're at, it's like, why even bother, right?
Yeah. It's like pushing a boulder up a hill because it's a lot. It's just as much work. And also it's like I don't have the deals that Spite you have, but without having somebody like Josh, they're up your ass and you're like, I'm busy filming the thing and then I'm busy editing the thing and then I'm, then now you need to know every 10 hours how it's going. So it's nutty, and it's also like for not a lot. They can be pretty demanding. So
that's why for a lot of I get emails all the time about stuff that people want to see on the channel. It's usually like I get a lot of Amazon parts. So I had a company that makes Amazon mirrors being like, "Hey, let's do a dedicated video about some mirrors." And I was like, no, no, because
for these $30 mirrors, yeah.
I'm not, first of all, that you're not going to like the video I'm going to make, and second of all, these guys are basically like, yeah, we'll send you the mirrors. That's payment. And Josh is laughing because he realizes how much value an individual video really has.
I'd be working for you, and I'd be like, okay, go ahead, send me the mirrors. I'll take a look at them.
You'll get an Instagram
we'll see
story.
I was like, here's the thing, I need to see these mirrors first before I give you a yes or no. So go ahead and send them. Here's my home address, and we'll take a look at them for you, and then you might hear back from me.
It's even worse in my position because I see how much you work and how stressful it is, and how it's like more money, more problems. I'm like, I'm over here making $13 on a Pan Am vlog I did in about 12 minutes, and it took 15 minutes to edit. Versus like high effort stuff where it's tough. It's really tough. If I had never seen the back end or you never worked on a big channel, this is fun. It's all fun. Yeah, you're trying to make your name. You're trying to be your own boss. But like when you go to the top and then like me, you go to some other channels and you go, God damn, that's a lot of fucking work. And I don't want to hate bikes because working at Yammy Noob made me start to hate bikes. And that is a crime. That should honestly be a punishable crime.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
I think it's important to say, though, it's YouTube that demanded that kind of pressure that made you do that. Not, we're not dogging on anybody in particular. The complaint is more with the system of YouTube here.
And it's a feedback loop, right? It's like, well, we can only do the thing that's big, and you can only, we got to do what people want to see. Well, they only watch 3 minutes of the video, and I mean, it's just like a crazy dodecahedron type mill, and the grist is fatty.
Yeah, it's difficult because I've had a handful of videos that I finished it and I was like,
oh no,
crush it. Which it's that kind of thought process is almost guaranteed to make the video a certified non-banger.
Can you say that one more time? You
froze.
Oh, damn it. So one of the things that kind of frustrates me a lot on YouTube is when I'm sitting there and I'm editing a video and I'm like, this is a banger. I've got an awesome title. I've got an awesome thumbnail. And I just feel so good. I'm super proud of what happened. And you put it up and nothing. It tanks. Yeah. You're like, fuck. Yeah. It's knowing that you've made an awesome video is like one of the best ways to make sure that the video does not pop off at all. And you're sort of chasing that. You're chasing that dragon, right? You want every video to just be banger after banger, and it's hard, man. And then what happens is you make a vlog, next week.
Goes to the moon.
And it goes to the moon. And then you're like, why? What? And then you try to do that same kind of vlog again, and then nothing. Like, my motorcycle scenes. So first motorcycle movie scenes did really well. Second one, no, nothing. You know, it did okay. It did fine. Let's see, where is it at right now?
You got a
It's
long tail.
the
It's
first one
because you're totally not in control. Like
yeah.
that's the thing. You could do the same exact thing twice, but the temperament of the algorithm is going to change day to day, week to week, based on
Seasonality.
so many factors. So many factors. The budget, how many people are spending on ads, like so many things influence how often a video is going to get recommended or not. That really you're not really in control. You're beholden to it, which is something that we're all very aware of.
Yeah, the first motorcycle movie scenes did upwards, let's see here, 162,000 views. And then the second motorcycle movie scenes, 29,000 views. So
that's a big difference too.
that's a precipitous. Well, the first thumbnail was like really, really good. And then I thought I had a really good one and it just did terribly. So I switched it up. And if I went in and made a third one, I might be able to increase it a little bit. But at a certain point, I just need to walk away from a project.
Did you change the title at all after you?
Yeah, I did a title and thumbnail change after about an hour because it did like 200 views in an hour.
Boom.
Yeah, it was real bad. And then now it's sort of just middle of the pipeline, which is fine. I was just sort of expecting it to be this sort of vein that I could keep coming back to. And that's not to say that I won't do any more because they're really fun. But, you know, now it's going to be like once every couple of months instead of once a month, you know?
So, Spike, you see these other people quitting. You've seen this trend of like, I'm done. What is your tank full? Do you feel satiated? Do you feel like you're at a good spot? Do you feel like, you know, now that you've been on your own for a while, where are you at?
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. So I will say at the end of this last year in December, December was a really hard month. It was a really, really hard month. The channel was doing great in December. I had the helmet video, the smart helmet video pop off. I had the first movie scenes video, which actually got demonetized, so I didn't earn any revenue off of it, but it created a lot of new subscribers. It created a lot of engagement in the channel, contributed to a lot of views. So I don't even care. I don't even care that it didn't generate revenue, because at the end of the day, it might have been a couple $100, which sure, okay, it's a lot of Diet Coke, but that's worth less to me than the channel views generally are. But I almost never took time off. I never really was able to take time off at Yami Noob, and that was just sort of the pace that we were going at. And I'm sure if I walked away and if we talked to Yam and be like, hey, I'm going to go on a vacation for a couple of days, he'd be fine with that. But it would have been really hard for me to get to a point where I could truly walk away from the keyboard.
Yeah, this follows you home. It's in your pocket.
It's in your pocket, man. And I'm always getting emails. I'm always getting notifications.
And then we've got Discords. We're always getting hit up on that.
And I'm always checking my analytics. You know, I check my analytics first thing in the morning, last thing at night. That's not good. I should stop doing that. I'm trying to set it up so I don't work past 5 anymore. But anyway, I was getting to the point, you know, before the holidays where I was just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I have it in me anymore. And then I went up to the Midwest, saw my family for a little while. And then I came back here to Texas, and I didn't film for a week when I was back in Texas. I was doing a little bit of things here and there. I was talking to sponsors because they were like, hey, let's get a deal going for 2024. And I was like, yeah, I want to, like, Flying Eyes. I was talking with my guy over at Flying Eyes, who I love working with them. They're an awesome sponsorship, and they're a local team. And so I was talking with them, and then I was like, damn, I really want to make a video. I really want to make a video. And then I went out and I made 6 videos in one day.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I made 6 videos in one day.
Weird.
Oh.
And now I'm getting back to the point where I'm like, all right, I'll make a video today. And then tomorrow I'll make 2 videos. And then I'm going to go hang out with my buddy Ben. I'm going to get him on a bike and we'll go film a video then. I get into when I take time off, I start to miss doing this because this is so much fun. It's so much fun. When you boil it down to its component parts, it's fun. And that's the best part about it. The worst part about it is you never get to walk away. You don't have time away.
Or practicing self-restraint and not checking it right when you wake up, or on Friday evening, you're done for the weekend, or, setting up those boundaries for yourself.
True. But, then think about, okay, what happens if you don't have everything done for your next video slot? And your next video slot is 2 days away. Like like I said at the top, I'm going to have to sit down and edit some more for the rest of tonight.
Yeah, well, you've got one editor, so it can be hard if you've got a 1-person team or a 2-person team to schedule super far out.
Yeah, I was working with my editor, Great Egret. I've got him editing 2 weeks out now. So just so that we can make sure that we're not up against it. He's not working his ass off. It's more important for me, for anybody who's working on the channel, because it's not their channel. It's not their take pride in their work, but the only one who should be suffering over any of these issues should be me. So if he's got issues, I need him to have more time to edit. So that means that I need to do a little bit more work in the short term, so that in the long term, theoretically, we don't have to work. But
lots of respect for that. Not all employers feel that way.
Yeah, this is at the end of the day. So if it's profit sharing situation, but I just pay the folks who work with me an hourly rate, or a percentage based on earned revenue. So it's not worth somebody's time to bust their ass, so I don't expect them to, but busting my ass is the only way that I make my ends meet. So I'm sitting here just like fucking working my ass off, but I don't want to walk away, because walking away would mean that I can't do this anymore. And I don't think I have any skill that's transferable to anything other than making dumb internet videos.
Well, you're good at it. You're really good at it. And it's fun
not
too.
true. It's not true. You and I have had definitely conversations about it before. I mean, even the problems that you're experiencing and talking about are such standard problems in a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learning how to manage a team, learning how to manage your time, learning how to, stay sane with all of your work and how much you care about it. Yeah, it's not true, but you are really good at it. You are very, very good at it.
Well, I appreciate that. But how about you guys? You're Josh, you're jumping back into the belly of the beast, and Whitney, you're getting back on the horse with your channel for 24. We're wrapping up, where your head's at with it all.
I mean, I'm fine saying that by the time this comes out, I'll probably have already accepted a new offer at a different shop that does
It's super cool.
Is pretty
Super
cool. Yeah. Yeah. We'll do more of an official announcement of it soon, but it's only a motorcycle shop, pretty much only a sport bike shop, specializing in sport bikes, selling Aprilias, and it should be pretty cool. And they want to make videos, right? They want other marketing things as well, but they've got a lot of that they're doing. So I'll be very involved in that, and I'll be able to make videos regularly on every single bike in the lineup and on every single bike that comes through the door. get to just ride these bikes, talk about them, and do fun stuff with them. And hopefully also, if the opportunity comes my way, be able to engage with the brand in cool ways, because Aprilia does a lot of cool stuff. They make very cool bikes and they do a lot of cool stuff. They tune a lot of bikes there at the shop as well. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun, and I'm excited about that. But this is a very different way of doing it than you both do, right? This is not a freelance thing. It's a salaried job. I'm also going to sell the bikes as well, so I'll also be a licensed salesman, so that I can you can watch a video of me and then hit me up and I can sell you the bike as well. That's ideally the way we're looking at putting it together, but we'll see. So yeah, it's going to be very different, right? I will have to report to an office, a shop, Monday through Friday, and be much more of a traditional rigid structure of a job. I'll get to do some of the fun stuff that you guys get to enjoy doing, shooting video, being on camera, editing video, dealing with YouTube and stuff like that. But it is very different, and the stakes are so different too. Obviously I want it to work out, but my check is not guaranteed on view count, so I don't know. It'll definitely add an interesting perspective to this conversation once I start pulling my hair out, trying to figure out why things aren't working, which is inevitable. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm optimistic. I'm so excited. I've been missing getting on a bike with a GoPro, and you put out our conversation about bikes with too much tech on your channel, Spite. Like, it just reminded me how much fun that is to do. And this has been my only interaction doing a lot of stuff like that ever since I got really tied up in so much administrative work at GeForce to shoot fun content. So yeah, no, we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it. I think getting to do the fun part, making the videos and engage with folks is going to be pretty cool. As long as I get opportunities to engage with the industry, that's one of the things I miss a lot, working with a broad swath of creators and brands and event people and doing fun events and stuff like that. If I can get back into doing more of that, then I think I'll be pretty happy with it. What about you, Whitney?
And not just making videos, but making Aprilia videos, Josh.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's the best brand you could be working with at this point.
That's what I think. Yeah, I know. So we'll see how the time is ticking before I am having Aprilia in the garage. I think I was hitting you up asking about the 210 because I don't know. I want.
And
one
here's
of those
Josh saying, "Look, I
V4s.
don't want a 210 660. I want an
He wants the
1100
1100.
210. If I'm gonna
Yes.
get a 210, I'm gonna get a real one. None of this 660 beginner bike stuff."
I was about to say, I was like, the 1100 is perfect for Josh.
We'll see. I don't know if it's perfect for the longevity of Josh, but it's
short
definitely going
term,
to bring a big smile to my face to have a bike that spits flames, and, is deafening. Because those are just such cool bikes. Yeah, we've got a dyno. Like, they've got a dyno, shop there at the dealership. They do all kinds of builds and race builds and things like that. So it would only make sense for me to have a totally tricked out fire breathing V4. Like, it's gonna have to happen.
Oh, and then there's me, right, where it's like 6,000 subscribers. I'm too unhinged to really feed the algorithm what it needs, and it hurts my soul sometimes. But at the same time, it's so much fun, and that's my mantra for 2024 is like, I'm just here to have fun. We're talking about going to the track, all three of us, like Crescent,
Yes.
hanging out, having fun. That's the kind of stuff I'm going to stick to versus really trying to grow it in a way where it's like I don't want to get a ball and chain to subjects that I'm not really invested in, or clickbaity title-y crap. And it's tough for a person like me who just wants to swear and constantly get demonetized as if it was my middle name. So, but I can't stop making videos either. Spite, like, you can't, like, it's in your blood now, and it's infected your brain, and it's who you are. And I'm an audiophile. I love taking pictures and shooting video, and I love motorcycles. So it combines all those things. So if I just stay focused on that, and this podcast is super fun, like getting to talk about bikes fills up, a special tank for that too. It's keeping it fun is all that matters. And I can get real dark if I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I making it so hard on myself? I've got 2 little kids, so it's like, am I spending my time in an appropriate way? But I know that I need to make sure that I'm not sacrificing who I am, because then I wouldn't be a cool mom.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I feel like we're a
Well,
trifecta right now. It's like you've got every different, point of view.
and not to say that you're a mother to your audience by any means, but a similar point is that you two are like, you're like the examples. I'm not going to use that ugly I word, but like you two are like, you live this stuff, right? And that's why people respond so well to your content. And that's if there's something to keep at the center of, is just to remember to keep doing the things that you want to do in the most fun way possible, because that's why people show up to follow you in the beginning, right? Because they're inspired by the independence and the bravery that it takes to go on your own and to do this stuff and to build your channels. And yeah, no, I mean, you inspire people, right? So at some level, forget the algorithm and keep doing stuff that you love, because that really is what draws people to you, I think.
Yeah, I think Whitney hit the nail on the head with the fun part of it too. One of the things I'm going to do this year, I really want to try to do this every week if I can, is the idea of it's a working title, but it's Saturdays with Spite, where it's literally the Seinfeld show. It's a show about nothing. It's just me doing some stuff on bikes and talking about stuff, and then the video goes up.
Yeah.
It's a little bit in the Shade Tree Surgeon model, where Shade Tree just kind of like does a thing with bikes. And I love those videos. That's part of the reason why I love what Shade Tree does, is because it's him doing stuff about bikes, and then he's just like a title thumbnail wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I want to try to capture with one of my video formats. Obviously the reviews and the news stuff is going to stay there. The opinion pieces, I've got one coming out about Buell, which is going to ruffle some feathers.
Cool. Very cool.
Which I think we could have a whole conversation about micro manufacturers as a podcast idea.
And we also need Eric Buell on the show.
Yeah, they reached out and I never heard back. And I was like, oh,
let's get Josh on
damn
him.
it. Yeah,
Glacier
Josh,
Spargaro.
Business development.
Right,
man.
Yeah, come on.
All right. I'll get working on it. Yeah, if we don't all make it to a camp out this year, I'm going to be pretty bummed about it, honestly.
Oh, we definitely will.
A Shade Tree camp out. Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun.
That or the Get On in Sturgis again. Sturgis Get On is so much fun.
Oh yeah,
so much fun. And I'm gonna bring my Hawk. I'm gonna bring the Hawk 250 because I'm gonna sell a KLR, and then I'm just gonna be like freaking Clint Eastwood on his little donkey in Fistful of Dollars.
That's perfect, because I'm gonna be on a Touareg. So.
Well, I think on that note, guys, we ought to wrap this one up. We're getting on to 55 minutes. So, any final parting thoughts on the wide, wonderful world of YouTube?
I'm glad I met you guys, because, man, it does feel the camaraderie. If we didn't have camaraderie, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. It can get lonely, man. When you don't have folks you're working with, it can get so lonely so fast.
No, thank you. It's the best memories I have was all of us and Derek. Like, we're all out there having fun, and that was the best part.
We did some awesome stuff, and I stand by every video we made. With very, very, very few exceptions, every video we poured a lot of effort into and made some really, really great stuff, and we still do. So,
so go ride with your friends.
Go ride with your friends.
Go
man.
ride with your dang friends.
That's how a lot of YouTube channels start, man, is go ride with your friends and go have fun. It's all we're trying to do.
2024. Let's all have fun.
There you go.
Yep. Next week, we're going to talk about 2024 plans.
Oh, are we? Is that the plan?
I think we should. We
I'll write it
tried
down.
to basically here at the end of this episode.
True. Well, yeah, let's do some 2024 plans and then, I don't know, have something else in the back pocket for next time. But on that note, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. We do have 1,000 subscribers, but we are still trying to grow this whole podcast situation.
Speaking of sponsors, we need them. All right. So
trying to get some interviews going on. I'm going to hog tie Shade Tree Surgeon, get him on here because that would be fun. And then, we'll just onward and upward. So we will catch you guys in the next one. See you later.